Honestly, I don't know. Let's move on because there are lots more stories that I need to talk to you about tonight. 2 British men have been revealed. This was an expose in the Mirror newspaper, actually. They're over in Russia. They're fighting for Russia in their war against Ukraine. Now, one of the former army bosses, Colonel Richard Kemp, he's basically said these guys are essentially traitors. They should be tried, probably jailed to that end. Where are you on that, Jaqueline?
I think one of them had already been in jail for a few years. I think he's absolutely correct. They are traitors. What they are doing is they are fighting with regimes and countries. In this case, obviously, it's Russia, where the relationship isn't great at this moment in time as they've invaded an ally. And therefore, they are on the wrong side of the law. We found in one. You did a very good briefing here because there is the law is from the Foreign Enlistment Act 1870, which says it makes it illegal to join armed forces of a country fighting a state of peace with Britain. So they have broken the law. And it's not the first time we get these people. They're like mercenaries, really. They're not all ex-armed forces. Some are, and then some just go out there to join whatever group. And I think if he comes back, I think he should end up in jail again. And it is treason, and there isn't, anything other than that to say. I mean, Putin actually blamed the UK the other day for being party to the terrible terrorist attack.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which killed all of those young people at the music festival that they've recently had, which actually was proven to be the terrorist group called ISIS-K. But he said Britain was involved in that. I mean, this is actually what we're up against, and the people of Ukraine are up against, frankly.
Aaron?
Should they be arrested? Well, of course they should be arrested. They've broken the law. The question is which laws would apply, and as Jaqueline just said a moment ago, it's really interesting that here they will probably be charged under anti-terror legislation.
Yeah.
But actually, I think it makes more sense to use the legislation from 1870, the Foreign Enlistment Act, which was just described a moment ago. And it's a classic example for me of there is a piece of legislation on the books from literally 150 years ago, which covers this perfectly. Why on earth do you need to use legislation from 15 years ago and Tony Blair? I have no idea. So anti-terror legislation, I don't think that quite covers it. These are people who are fighting alongside the armed forces of a hostile state. It's a state entity. It's not a non-state entity, which is generally how we think of terrorism. So absolutely should be arrested. And also, I don't know how on earth this gentleman, after being in prison for fighting in Russia, gets a visa to go back to Russia.
One of the things that struck me, obviously, I don't think this justifies anything, but it just kind of struck me a little bit. He said, one of these guys said, I'm a working class man, but with no work. He was really struggling, he was saying, to find his purpose and all the rest of it here in this country. What do you think to that?
Well, I was out of work once, and I know loads of people who've been out of work many times, and I don't think we sort of thought, what do you think we should do? Let's go and get a visa and pop over to Russia or pop over and join, ISIS or Hamas or whoever. No, the vast majority of people don't even think that way. So to sort of use that as some sort of reason or excuse or whatever is complete nonsense. He's decided what he wants to do. He's already done this before and he's gone back.
Do you think it's nonsense? Because I wonder, is there something in this where, like, if you are, like he said, I'm a working class guy, he's lost his way, and then you get caught into, people spend too much time on the internet, they start reading stuff, you get sucked into stuff, you've got too much time on your hands, and then before you know it, you're getting radicalised. Any sympathy with that, Aaron?
Sometimes it's true, but this gentleman is 48 years old.
Yeah.
If we were talking about a 21-year-old person who'd been radicalised as a teenager, thrill-seeker, going abroad, I would be not sympathetic to him, certainly sympathetic to the argument. He's 48. It was quite funny. This article from the Mirror, they speak to his father, who's now estranged, and I was expecting them to say the father was in his 50s. He's 76. This poor man, he's got a tearaway son causing him problems and heartache at the age of 48. That should not be happening.
The dad is 76, is a folk singer, a Morris dancer, and a former town councillor from Greater Manchester, apparently. He says he's cut his son off. I don't know why, but the two different worlds. You've got one fella that's busy Morris dancing away, and then his offspring can be this kind of wrong un. As I said, his dad has disowned him. We shall follow that story with interest and see what, if anything, happens next. But what are your thoughts on it? GBViews@GBNews.com.